Thanks for joining us. This is Live with Miami's Community News, and my name is Michael Miller, and we are here with three really smart guys. So if you're a youngster or a middle person or an oldster, you need to listen to this. So we have the chairman of the Miami-Dade College's Miami Animation and Gaming International.
Complex.
There you go. Phew. And then we also have two student developers of the app that was made. So tell us about the program and how you wound up with these gentlemen here and the other folks that were involved with us.
So we opened the Magic program in 2015. Magic is Miami Animation and Gaming International Complex. And we offer two programs, one in animation, which is literally how to make animation movies or animated movies. And the other is game development. How do you create video games?
Now you come from a television and production background.
I do. I worked for Univision I've been in animation for the past 20 or so years, but for 17 years.
Before they were born, right?
Oh, yeah.
Pretty close to that.
Pretty close, yes.
Okay.
And then Dr. Eduardo Padron invited me to come to Miami-Dade College at the Wolfson campus to create and implement these two programs. And it's great, and it's been great. We have an amazing facilities.
So let's talk about specifically. People all know about the Underline. Right?
Yes.
You've been hearing about it. Meg, I forgot her last name.
Daly.
Daly?
Yes.
Daly, that's it. All right.
Yeah.
And a lot of concerned people said, let's make Miami better. All right. So explain to us what you are doing with the Underline to make an experience for people a little bit better.
So it all started with a conversation with Daly in my office, and we were trying to collaborate and create some kind of public engagement at the park. How do you bring users? And video games and animation is always engaging. And for the next 2 years, we kind of didn't know what we were going to do, but we knew that we wanted to create something for the park to bring users to the park and engage them in some activity.
Okay, why don't you introduce our...
Yes. So this is Ieon Skepple. So Ieon graduated from Magic in 2017.
Yeah, around there.
Yes, he graduated, and now he works with us as an academic tutor. And Segundo is an international student from Argentina. He graduated last year in
2020, yeah.
And he also joined the team. And these two gentlemen, they were, and some other members of the team, created the app together with the Underline.
So tell us why don't you tell us what the app does for people?
So basically what you do is it's an AR app. So that means you're watching the world through your phone, and we are adding stuff into the phone. So you're trying to dig sites and dig artifacts to learn about the history of Miami.
From the park. Yep.
It's a scavenger hunt, but it's a scavenger hunt using augmented reality, meaning you only see it through your phone. So when you trigger the app, you're going to see some areas that you have to go dig. You find an object and learn.
So this is all virtual.
All virtual.
No shovels allowed in.
No.
It's all done on their phone. You just download the app and...
Mag would have killed me if I wasn't shoving her.
I don't think they will like that.
So, Ieon, how did you get... It's Ieon, right?
It's Ieon.
Say it again.
Ieon.
How did you get involved in this? What caused you to say, let's go do this?
He came to me and said, hey, we're making an app. So, yeah.
Why did you go to Magic to learn?
Because I liked the animation, and I liked the process of the concept of taking the concept idea, go to the pipeline, and get a finished product of the animation.
So what is that like when you guys come up with that idea and it starts moving forward to this reality? What is that like? It's Segundo.
I feel like it never ends up the way it started. Like it always changes. So you start with an idea and it starts to change, and the whoever is in charge or the client, sees it and realizes, oh, I would like it to go towards this side. So you basically do changes all the time until you reach a point that you say, okay, I think it's good enough.
And Chairman, why did you select each other, meaning the Underline and you? What caused the two of you to get together to create this?
I was told to do so. No, I'm joking. Mag and Dr. Padron, talked, and then he introduced me to Mag Daly, the president and founder of the Underline, and we just met, and we agreed to work together in some project. And by the way, what Segundo just said is the gist of the program. This program is hands-on. You learn by doing. There's no theory of anything, but you learn real-world skills, doing real-world products.
So when you were making that, what caused the concept, not to create the app, but what somebody was going to experience? How did that particular thing come up with going on a treasure hunt?
Took a while, right?
Yeah, it took a while. So we made prototypes and trying to see how it would feel if the user did this and that. And we show it, Mauricio will tell me the idea and I'll try to implement it. And then we show it to the client and they'll say something different. Oh, can you add this in there and that?
So when was there an aha moment when you said, oh, we're going to do this dig? When did that occur in this process?
The actual dig and learn name came only 3 months ago.
Yeah, I think it was after we made a couple of assets, like the shovel, and then we said, "Hey,
before we had
you came up with the name."
Yeah, we have 2 or 3 names before that one, and then finally, dig and learn. It made sense, but so it's a story, right? It's storytelling, and in that world, you have to match storytelling with what you're able to do technically and what's going to work for the audience. So this is the challenge when.
So when somebody's using that app, what are they going to find? What are they going to be able to be taught or learn from that?
It was a Brickle, right?
Yeah, you'll be able to learn about Mary Brickle, the Seminole tribes that used to live here, and the fossils that you can actually find there at the underline and in the similar areas.
See how it's working?
Yes.
They know who Mary Brickle is.
Yes, amazing. So what is that like when the bulb goes off in your head and you go, I think this is it. I think this is what we're going to how do it. What is it? What goes right before it clicks and then you go, oh, that's it. What is that like?
When you give it the phone, like when we prototype, we had to give it to other people to test out and getting the feedback that he said he wanted the user to have. That's our aha moment right there.
Yep. And so the aha moment when a lot of people participated in this, right?
Yeah.
And you have to go get information and get it so that people can access it as they're pushing the different buttons and learning. So it must be a pretty good feeling to be able to put together a product that's usable, that tells a story that people can learn from. So Professor, you've been teaching for a while. So what's that like when you said, here's a project and it came together?
It's awesome. And the aha moment, it takes a while because we have the aha moment, but then it needs to work, technically, and it's all about the user experience in the end. When you go to the underline tomorrow, download the game, it needs to work, perfectly. Otherwise, you're going to turn off your phone.
Yes.
So it's very, very cool to go through the whole process of first you have your original idea, then you try a million things that don't work until you get to the end result, and that's what we're teaching at Magic. The whole production experience and pipeline.
And how long did that take from concept to completion?
2 years.
2 years.
Yes.
And were they involved from the beginning?
Ieon,
I was.
Yes. Ieon, he literally wrote all the programming, everything that is in the back of the app. And literally, I would tell Ieon, when you point the phone, this needs to happen.
I'll tell him, I got to test it out to see if it works. And go, yes, it does work.
When did you realize that you had talent for doing that?
When he gave me that task to do it.
No, before that. No, how old were you when you said, gee, I'd like to do that type of stuff?
I don't know. Around 30.
At 30 years old, you said, come on, how old are you?
20, I guess.
Okay.
He never gives up.
Right.
I mean, if you tell him to, he will figure it out and he will test it.
Lots of times we are thinking about things for a while, and then there comes a point that we externalize it. There was a doctor that was here the other day. I said, when did you want to become a doctor? And he says, well, maybe when I was about 12. That's when he started telling people. I said, but what about before that? He went back till he was 9 when he realized that. So when did you realize I want to do this type of things?
I guess around 10. Mostly it was with animation and stuff. So, and when I came to the program, I started learning other new stuff, and that's when I found I can do programming and stuff, and continue from there.
There's an old saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And so often all right? We go through our life and we're not ready, all right? So Segundo, when did you realize that you were ready for a project like this?
Oh, well, in my case, it's easier because I've always played video games, and making video games is kind of like a dream. But it's not something that you think you can do. It's not a possibility. So, like in 2015, I got a job as a 3D modeler, and after that, I realized, hey, you can actually work from this. You can live from this. So I did that for a couple of years. And then I decided to come here to Miami and try the Magic program.
And what was your favorite part of this project?
Working with different people. Like I said, another thing I liked with animation was the concept, like taking the concept, going through the process, and seeing the final product.
And Professor, Chairman, right? What were some of the challenges that you had from the moment Dr. Padron said, hey, let's work on this, until you were done? What were some of the things that stood out as far as your challenges?
This project, usually you already know what you're going to do, right? In Magic, we create short animated movies, and you already have the story, or you create a video game with a concept. This project, we had nothing. We only knew that we wanted to create a experience at the park using augmented reality. That's it. So,
how was that project picked? How did that occur? Because there was so much conversation about the underline, and everybody got together and said, let's tell another story, or what?
So I loved the project, that Dali, that Mag put together. I think the work that she's done is outstanding. She single-handed made that reality, the underline. Now it's 1 mile on downtown Miami that's developed. It's beautiful. It's a park. So I wanted to be part of it. And I told her, yes, let's do it. I will put the resources, of the department. I would, get the students work on it, because it's a very, very, very cool thing for our city.
So for some people that just tuned in, so there's an app that they can get, and they can go to the underline, and they can find out all sorts of things. You're going to go on this virtual tour.
Exactly.
And be able to dig up archives and artifacts that are there about all the things that occurred in that area.
Correct. On the other line, the first mile is in the Brickell area, and there are actually, just look for it. There are like markers with QR codes. Just put your phone, download the game, and go hunting and go digging.
It's truly amazing. The Miami Herald used to do a thing called, it was with Dave Barry, and it was called Herald Hunt or something. They take you all over town. So in this case, you can do it right on your phone, right from this relatively small area, and find out a lot. So what are the kids? Are there kids that are accessing this, and tell us about their experience? Segundo, can you tell us?
Did you hear anything from our students? So it's brand new, by the way. It went live like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes, this is like we're launching it right now.
Okay, so
the cool thing is when you finish collecting a set of items, you get to take a picture with the objects that you found.
You collected.
And the idea is that you upload that to social media and tag the underline, tag us if you want. That way we can actually, see people playing our app.
And how long were you a student at Miami-Dade? And did you finish?
I finished.
When that was 2017?
Yeah.
Okay. And you, Segundo?
2018, I believe I started, and 2020 graduated.
It's a 2-year program. It's an associate's in science. Very straight to the point. You go and learn what matters, how to do things.
So, Professor, when people enter in the beginning, the first class, can sometimes you tell, say, there's one that's going to be a star. How do you do that? And tell us about the smiles that are on these youngsters' faces, and how you can help them learn.
I'm always amazed. Like from day one at Magic, and my career has been in animation and broadcasting. So when I came to Miami-Dade College, it was all new to me. But I am still today astonished with the talent of our kids that are coming from high school. It's unbelievable. They already come with the talent, raw, obviously, but the level of drawings and their talent is amazing. And then throughout these 2 years, obviously, like you can see, students that, not better, but like they have a talent for animation or a talent for video game. But unfortunately, I don't teach as much anymore. When you are in contact with the students, you can. And when we opened, we had 70 students. That was Ieon's class.
Yeah.
Today we have 1,000 students. So it's kind of hard to. And with the pandemic, it got even harder, right? Because everybody was online. But the talent in animation and in video game development comes when you have a story, but you know how to use technology to tell that story.
So we have the aspect of creating a device and the programs that are going to inform people, and they can learn at their own level. So what are some of the items that people can find out with that app about the underlying?
Segundo knows that better because he created all the items.
Yeah, I spent some time with those items. Well, you can find some of Mary Brickle objects or things that represent her. Like a map of the area that they used to own, the campus that's included with the map, the flower, the Ohio State flower where she comes from, and each one of those objects gives you a little bit of story, and obviously seminal.
We broke down in 3 themes, right? Mary Brickle, history, artifacts. I had no idea there were fossils and seminal artifacts right there in that area in downtown Miami. And the third one is
we got the Seminoles and the fossils.
So 3 objects for each theme, correct?
Yeah, and we have all the butterflies flying around. That when you catch one of the butterflies, that's another thing that you can do. You get information about that butterfly. All those butterflies that we have, which we have like 8 different ones, or all butterflies that are found here in Florida.
Native from Florida. I had no idea.
So when I'm not an app person other than ones that are normally used, but to be the thought about creating an app and the history of Miami and that area must be very rewarding for you guys.
Yeah, of course.
What did you learn, Ieon?
That's what you said. Yeah.
I mean, for me at least, I've been here only for 3 years, so most of it was new, and I made a few mistakes. So
So, would you say that you know a whole lot more about Miami history because of the work that you did?
Yeah, sure.
And this is about 2 years for this project.
2 years. We started 2 years ago. Yeah.
And how much of your life was consumed, if that's the word, working on this particular
A
app?
good amount. Programming and learning about the information, trying to implement the information about what we learned. A lot.
So, as you're putting this together, is the bigger concern about how somebody's going to go from point A to point B to point C, or do you take a little bypass and you're studying the information? Hey, this is a great history lesson for yourself. How does that work?
Like trying to make it appealing. Like you get the information, it's just words, and it's like they just don't want to see words. So we got to go to Segundo, and he's gonna like design it and make it look nice. So make it more presentable, and they just want to click on more information.
But that's important nowadays.
Yes.
How to make it appealing. Our society now is 5 seconds, right? If it doesn't work in 5 seconds,
that long, huh?
right? This is the challenge today. How to make it appealing for people to be interested on Mary Brickle.
So in that app, is there music?
Yes, that was the sound guy.
So one of the things that we recognize is how to if we can turn words into music and words into colors and to create a picture for somebody. And if you watch the movies and they put in that music, and we know when the bad guy's coming, we know when they're going to be in love, we know when the hurricane is coming, and we know when there's a fire, right? Because that evokes a lot of emotions. So when you put this together, how do you keep somebody there to go to the next step?
I mean, well, music and sound was all done by Javier Albornoz. So we're not the sound expert, but definitely you gotta have a soundtrack or sounds that match the emotion that you wanna,
And sound in video games is interesting because you have to have rewards sounds. So when you find something, ping.
Yeah.
So it's in
Give
movies.
feedback.
Facebook taught us that. Texting, right?
Yeah.
Bing, bing, bing,
Exactly,
bing, bing, bing.
but it
bing.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in movies, yes, you have the drama but in video games or apps, it's a rewarding system like it did ping. So I found a new object.
That's all scientifically proven. It does something to our brain. We want to go there, right? Oh, somebody sent me another message. Oh, good. Somebody loves me. I got another friend. I get to, right? And that affects the deepest parts of our brain to keep us going back.
Immediate satisfaction.
So how did you learn that?
No, it's when we tested out the app and when we clicked on something to dig. At first, it had no noise, and we felt like it was missing something. And that's when he came up with different sounds. The sound guy came up with different sounds. He came up with different digging noise. So when we clicked on it and to get noise, that's when we started understanding, okay, we gotta like give them feedback. Because I wanted to click on more stuff. So I went, okay, we're in the right direction here.
Okay, let's talk about QR codes. A while back, all right, QR code was invented, I don't know, 40 years ago at this point, right, more or less. And it got hot for about 3 months, right? And then it sort of went away.
It was useless.
Right. I'm starting to see it a little bit more, all right? You know, I saw it on my TV the other day. I put my phone, I'm as far away as we are here, and I read it. It puts me over. Is there more movement towards people doing things like that than before, or are we just more aware of it?
Yes, because you want the user to go to your information the fastest way possible. And with mobile phones, which changed everything, you open your camera, boom, and he's in your webpage already, exactly where you want that person to be. You don't want the person to Google, find the app, go to the wrong page. You know, we want them to go straight to the point.
I'm that guy that goes on that hunt. I'm going, what am I doing?
Am I in the right place? So QR codes now, it's unbelievable, you know, because you can take whoever you want to exactly where you want them to be in seconds. Yeah.
Back when, I guess 20 years ago, people.
Why was QR codes created? I don't remember.
It's PhD guy invented it, I think, and it's like he offered it free. You could do it yourself.
It's been forever.
And part of it was that they really didn't push it, and then other products came along that usurped it. That were better then, but the reality is that in itself is, excuse me if I'm not using the word correct, is an app. You go there, and it takes you right immediately to where you want to go, which is really amazing. Considering
COVID helped also, right?
Yes.
Restaurants and everything. So
Yeah, there's no more menus.
It came in handy.
So for our two young men over here, all right, so where would you like to be in 5 years?
Perfecting my craft. I hope I can make my own app and stuff. That'll be cool. A game.
And how do you make money making apps?
Oh, you put advertisement in it.
For every ping, they're taking 5 cents out of every bank account. No, the app is free, but that's, you know, nowadays monetizing, and which, by the way, the gaming industry is 3 times bigger than Hollywood. It's unbelievable, and anybody can create a game app. Like with 3 guys, you know, coming out of the Magic program, you can put together an app, and if all goes well, you monetize it. Like you give the main story for free, but if you want to go a little bit further.
Yep.
Then, you know, they ask you for 5 cents or for 99 cents.
And Segundo, where do you want to be in 5 years?
I would love to get to work on a AAA gaming studio, so like a big studio, because there's a lot of things that I feel like you need to be in that specialized area to learn, perfect the craft, so to say, and you know, maybe someday open a studio of my own, make video games, make the video games that I want.
So where do you learn to make, how do you learn to make apps and all that stuff that goes in it?
From books and going on the internet and YouTube.
Do you need to have somebody helping you, or you just look at it and you got to figure it out?
Yeah, I got to figure it out.
This is my usual thing here. Just get us where we want to get. And if somebody wanted an app for their business, I'm just going to, for the people that don't understand, an app is not just a link to a website per se. It's to a very specific product within, right?
Yeah, specific product that they download to their phone, and they talk about the person's product and stuff. Like it could be a game, information about their products and stuff like that.
So if some local businessman, he's got some store and he's got some extra money, he says, you know, my wife says, gee, we should have an app, right? More or less, how long does it take, and more or less how much money for a simple app that takes them to to content that is different than the web. It's formatted differently. It could be the same, similar information, but it's formatted differently. How long does it usually take? And more or less, what's the price range from low to like high? Not the super duper one, but for a local business.
The amount of time we know, 2 years.
Yeah.
Do you guys know how much it costs?
No idea.
Honestly,
The cost, no idea. But the time, it depends completely on the problem that you want to solve with that app. If it's just something simple that someone who knows how to program might sit down and in a couple of months get it done. If you want to start adding things to it, because you have to start bringing other people. Like you want music on it, you have to have someone who knows how to do that. You want to have
All right, ding, 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 ding,
Yeah.
ding.
No, it gets so expensive because you gotta be paying multiple people.
Many thousands.
I don't know, many.
How much?
I'll go range around estimate 5,000.
Okay. All right. So, folks, $5,000. Maybe you're going to get a simple one. All right. But and it's interesting to see. A couple of years ago, people talked about you need to get an app, whoever it is, and now explain to somebody that doesn't know the Facebook logo that we have on our phones. What is that compared to just going to typing in Facebook.com for people that don't know? What do we call that? That little
Icon?
I don't know. That's an app, right?
That's an app, yeah,
it goes
that's an app.
where you want it to go
Yes.
specifically, rather than to hunt it down the website, which may not be where you want to wind up.
Right. Yeah. So you're saying like you have a web browser, right? That's an app. You have the you can access Facebook through a web browser,
Yes.
or you can use the specific Facebook app just to access Facebook, and that's it. It only uses
And it's so
works
much
with Facebook.
easier
Yeah.
with an app. You go like that, it goes wherever you want to go, all right, within that.
You're not accessing one app to access another one. So yeah,
I want to know, you've been in the industry for a while. I want to know how you guys' brains work differently than the guy that's like a carpenter, right? Where he goes, okay, and you look at it and you can see it. Do you see this stuff when you're working on it?
like the Matrix, you mean?
A lot of people with numbers, they see the number and they can add it up because they see it. All right? Other people have to count on their hands, and other people just have to write it out. So tell us about that process when you're trying to figure out, what does it look like to you?
It's just words. It just you taking the numbers and you just making it into a word that you can understand it, so you can tell the program what to do. Basically, and that's it.
It's another language.
All right.
Yeah.
He talks like it's simple. Okay. So do a lot of developers have the same thought process to get to where they want to get to solve a problem?
Yeah, that's what I said earlier. Like they prototype it. They make sure it works before they spend more time on it. If they don't prototype it, they can run into a problem later, and it can hold up the whole production cycle.
Okay. So let's go back to the underline. So you and your team created an app. People can go down there and they can go on a virtual treasure hunt and find all history about a lot of things that are in that area, right? And where can somebody get that app?
You can get it on Apple Store, Google Play, and in the underline. In the underline, there are markers, just QR code, and it'll take straight to the store where you can download the app.
That's amazing. So when the people that are currently or about to start using that, tell us what their age group in the first 6 months to a year.
The app was designed primarily for a younger demographic, kids, to start learning a little bit about these three topics: history, artifacts, and Seminole, and Indians are Indians. So that's the age group, but everybody can play.
It's easy for everybody. So
Yeah, it's for everybody, but it's more appealing to that demographic. But I play it a lot because I go after the butterflies. You have butterflies flying all over, which I think 9 of them, and if you touch them, you learn about that butterfly specifically. And I had no idea we had 9 butterflies originate from Florida.
All right, let me go over this again. So you're down there, you open the app, and you're walking along, and if there's a butterfly, you want to learn about that particular butterfly, and it's going to say, this is a monarch butterfly, came in from Mexico last night, all right?
Yes.
And we're making babies, all right?
But Segundo knows about the butterflies.
Yeah, the information part was tough because we needed to put, we had a lot of information and we needed to make it as short as possible because, you don't want to be reading, you want to be like playing and digging for stuff. But we still wanted to give you a lesson, teach you something. So we went over a lot of different butterflies, a lot of different information, trying to find the little details that
The whole research of all this came from our friends of the underline. They provided us with all this information to be included in the app. The issue is they send us 3 paragraphs, but we only have room for 3 lines. So how do you get 3 paragraphs of information? Because on your, and if you don't read it in 5 seconds, it's gone. So this is the challenge nowadays. How do you translate 3 sentences of a butterfly that you can write books about into an immediate information that you can learn something about?
Well, Facebook has taught us under 3 seconds or over 3 seconds.
Yeah.
1 elephant, 2 elephant, 3
You're
elephant.
gone.
That's the way it is. All right.
Yeah.
So, and we've seen that change where you used to get 1-minute commercials on TV and then 15-second commercials. There's a roofing commercial that it's 5 seconds long on TV, right? They say roofing, then they say the name of the business.
Done.
And it's done because we've been trained now. And sometimes people say, how long do people watch your show? I said, I want you to imagine that you have a remote control in your hand. How long do you watch whatever it is? Until I don't want to watch it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, right? So what do you do in the program to help people stay with the information that you provided for them?
That's a good question. Remember when they get the information, they got a choice to continue reading it, or they can just go back and click on another butterfly and get more information. And they made it in a way that every time they click on a butterfly, it goes away. So they can whatever's left, they have to click on something else, and they continue processing over and over until it's done.
And
also,
so
you're also collecting everything that you find, and it goes into your inventory, so you can see how your progress is going. Like if you're filling your inventory, get that sense of accomplishment.
So what people over the age of 40 understand that we used to think that we were people of free will. At this particular point in our lives in the internet, we get back what we sought out. So making decisions outside of that is very hard because everybody keeps reminding us what we ordered last time and other people that got that. So, and I get what you're saying. Here's your inventory. Just keep ordering the same stuff. Go to the same restaurant. Look at the same things. So what are some changes you guys are going to think that's going to happen so that people will be able to break out of their regular habits, forget the cookies, all right, and to be able to go to something new? What do we have to do to experience new things?
Oof, that's a tough question. How do you make people not do what they are usually doing every day? I feel like in a lot of cases, it has to do with the rewards, right? If you feel rewarded while doing something, you're going to want to keep doing it. If you get someone to feel rewarded with whatever you want them to do, then they might come back or they will, keep doing it.
So they became psychologists, right?
There's a little bit of that in it, though. 'Cause, like I said, we had to take back the feedback and still try to figure out the way he wanted the vision, and see if other people can see it too. Because sometimes they might not do what you wanted them to do, but that's the way that's how the app is and stuff. So that's why we try to figure out, hey, how are we gonna make them click on the stuff and continue clicking on it? Let's say, they click on all 3 objects, they get to open up the image part where they can take pictures of their what they found. So that was one of the features we added to be rewarding.
And I'm gonna check how much time do we have left. Oh, we got 2 minutes left. So what I like to do is I like you to talk right to the camera. Tommy's going to point out which camera, and talk to a young person out there that's considering a career in this, and tell them about magic and what it did for you. Which camera should you look at? This one right here?
Yeah, magic did a lot for me. You had access to the technology, and with that, I was able to learn a lot. You can continue to learn. You get better at it, and that's about it.
Okay.
Do you want me to also imagine?
Yes.
So basically, is as Mauricio said, is just 2 years. So make that time be worth it, right? Study a lot, work a lot, because it's not easy. It's not easy at all, but it's it's a really fun thing. And again, working on animation and video games, everyone wants to do that. Like if they like this, so there's gonna be a lot of people trying to get there. So if you're considering going to Magic, make those 2 years count.
Okay. And Chairman, you've been teaching and sharing your personality and your wisdom and your experience. What's that like for you as we get ready to wrap up here?
It's amazing to even if just a little bit that anybody learns, in this program, it's very rewarding. And actually, after these 2 years, see a student be placed in a job and they start their careers. It's great, and that's what we do here. I love Miami. I work for Miami, and it's great to create jobs in Miami because Magic now is in Miami. This program, we're seeing more companies, opening, their doors here in Miami with video games, especially virtual reality and construction that we're using right now. It's great.
And we know that you are part of the change, the tech change that is occurring to Miami. It didn't start the last year. It was 20 or 30 years in the works, all right? And so we're glad to see it's coming to fruition, whatever it took for that to happen. And you're certainly a part of that change. And we're going to wrap it up here. And what I'd like to do is make sure that we get it, we pronounce your name correctly. Why don't you, are you going to say your name right in there? All right, we'll go right down there and I'm going to sign out.
My name is Segundo Correas.
My name is Ieon Skepple.
Mauricio Ferrazza.
And I'm Michael Miller, and we are at our gentlemen in Miami-Dade College. Thank you very much, Dr. Padron. Thank you, Meg, and thank you, everybody, for making Miami the Magic City. See you guys. Thank you, and thanks.